Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today I'm here with Luis Chavarriaga. And Luis is a single-family investor, creative finance. He's also in the commercial space, and he is a master plumber in Florida. He's done fix and flipping there for 8 years. Luis, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, Luis, tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up getting into the real estate space.
Well, Dylan, like I mentioned before, I came to this country in the 90s from Colombia, South America. I came here for the American dream because it's a great country. That's what everybody's dreams is, to be in this country. I had the opportunity to be here. I came to New Jersey, went to Montclair State University, which you're familiar with. It's very nice. I was there and I got a degree at finance and international business, and went to work for Penn Weber as a broker in New York. I didn't like it much because I was just selling stocks, bonds, things that didn't actually work for the clients, but it worked very well for the bank itself. I don't like
Yeah.
that. I wanted to do something different, and I moved on. I went to work for the bank. It was the same thing, and I was looking to do something for myself, so I got into real estate as something I'll be able to help a lot of people find their house, or at least find a rental. I worked there for a while in New Jersey until I had my first boy, Greco, and I find out that the school system was not the best in New Jersey, at least where I was staying at. And we were looking for a better place, and we found that Naples, Florida had a great school system, and it was actually not private but public school system, and it was A+. So we moved here for the school system here, but the industry here is not doesn't have that much industry. So the thing that moved the most was construction and real estate. So okay, that's what I have to be. I went to school. I got my license as a general contractor. Then I started continued studying. I got my master plumbing license. I needed to get those licenses in order to bring down the cost of the remodeling, because I figure if you buy a property and you have to pay a contractor, the contractor makes a profit from 20 to 30% profit. But if I'm the contractor, I'll make that profit myself and I keep everything in house. So my ROI would be a lot higher. And that's what I did. I got my licenses. And my wife got the license as a realtor. So we'll be able to buy a property, we fix it up, and my wife will list it and she will sell it. So it was a teamwork. And from doing that fix and flipping, it worked out very well. But we saw that there was a bigger opportunity by building the property from scratch, from zero. When you buy a property and you estimate the cost of renovations, it's just an estimate. Because once you break down that wall, you find out what's behind that wall. There's those rusted pipes, the
Yeah.
electrical, the AC. It's a headache.
Sometimes you don't want to know what's behind that wall.
But your money's on the line, so you have to find
You
out.
have to know.
You have to know. So you have to know. So we decided to, when you buy something to fix and flip, you know 80% to 90% of what might go wrong, but the other 10 to 20% might take over. You might cost you everything. Your profit will be out the door. So it's unpredictable. We wanted to do something more predictable, which was building from zero, new family, building single family homes in an area that's up and coming, and that's what we started to do. Because you'll be able to, predict what will be the cost of the construction, the material, the time frame, when you're gonna be finished, and get a very good estimate of how much you'll be able to sell it for. And so we did that for about 5 years, building new houses and selling. And now the market is unpredictable now with the tariffs, with the labor shortage. It's very, very tough for new construction, at least for in the area we are in. It's unpredictable. So now we are switching, transferring to multifamily, and everybody needs a place to stay. Everybody needs to play a place to live, their families. And if the properties are very high, very costly because the interest rates are very high, what do you have to do? You have to rent properties. You have to rent. And this country is becoming a renting nation. Everybody's renting
Yep.
properties right now. And so the best way to be for us is buy multifamily rental properties. And that's what we're doing. We're buying 100 to 150 doors at a time to rent. We not we might not cash flow that as well right now, but I know in a year to 2 years from now, it's going to be fantastic.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Man, to our listeners who are listening to this, they probably are as uh, inspired by this as I am, because just the journey that you've been on and the growth is remarkable. Really starting from scratch, truly, to now commercial investing, and everyone would love. I think I'm an aspiring real estate investor. I'm getting actually my real estate license, hopefully, God willing, the beginning of April.
Nice.
And I've done wholesaling, but everyone who is attending these classes, the real estate classes, how do I get into the commercial space? It doesn't just drop in your lap, right? You kind of got to earn your stripes. And talk about earning your stripes. So after, I'm going to take it back a little bit. After graduating from Montclair State University, which we talked about this before hopping on the podcast here, I said Montclair State University. I'm a New Jersey native.
Right there,
It's
yes.
crazy. You're right there. You know what I mean? And I was mentioning to you there was this baseball team. Aside to our listeners don't know about this, but the Jackals were a non major league team, not triple A. They weren't any A's, but they were a team out there that we would go watch as a kid. So I was always out at Montclair State University, probably once every 2 months. But how did you go from graduating from Montclair State University to the finance field to then deciding, you know what, I'm gonna try my hand at real estate? Was that a natural switch to you? Did you know that this was going to be something that was going to be a lifelong passion, or was it I'm just going to try this out?
You know what it was actually? I saw a movie which was Wall Street. Wall Street, the first movie, not that second one like everybody knows, the first one with the old actors. And that was incredible. That the movie changed my mind. I said, I could be a broker in New York. I'm here in this country. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. It was so nice that the movie it shows that you could be the hero just being a broker. And so I said that's what I wanted to be until I became a broker for Penn
Mm,
Weber. I realized that you just another salesperson. You're just selling the bank's product. They're not taking into consideration your brains. As a matter of fact, they tried to give some ideas to to the company, hey, how about we sell this one? This one has a better return for the client. This one is better for these people in the long term. Say, no, we don't pay you. We're not paying you to analyze the stock. We're paying you to sell. I was like, what do you mean? I went to school. I studied this. I'm good at this. Everything, to analyze the stock. Please take in consideration what I'm trying to tell you. And nope, they say,
Nope.
no, no, no. I say, no, because they're trying to make money. I mean, I'm not putting them down. It's just that you become just a salesperson.
Yeah.
Say, no, I cannot help the people working with this company. So I went to work for the bank, and it was the same thing. The bank was doing the same thing. So I decided, let me look into something that may be able to influence somebody else. And as a matter of fact, during that time, I found a house in New Jersey, in Englewood, New Jersey, that they were selling, needed to be fixed a bit. But I went to, let's try, let's see if we could get it instead of paying rent. Let's see if we could buy the house.
Yeah.
And long story short, I was able to buy that house, and they paid me to take over the house instead
Wow.
of me. Instead of me paying for the house, they paid me. And what happened was, I put a contract for the house at X price, but I went to do I had an inspector inspect the house, and we found out that the boiler had some problems, and the boiler was about $11,000 to change the boiler. Then we have to do some other repairs in the house. The lady that needed to sell the house, that was selling the house, she needed to sell the house because she was moving to another state. And so she needed to get rid of the house, and the house was an inheritance. She inherited the house from somebody else. So she didn't have any attachment to the house. She needed the money. She wanted the money to move to another house. So she needed to sell, within a month. So I made an offer, and I said, listen, I buy the house, but you have to pay to fix the boiler. You have to fix this, and that. I buy the house. If not, then I cannot buy. Because I knew the problem that she had. She needed to sell right away.
Yeah.
She ended up lowering the price as a credit of the day of closing. The day of closing, instead of me bringing money to the bank, she gave me a credit of about, I think it was like $14,000, and I only have to bring to the bank about to the closing $9,000. So I ended up walking with a check in my hand from the closing cost.
Wait a minute. So for our listeners who are just as amazed by this, did you end up paying money out of pocket for this home, or did you receive money?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Money. $5,800 worked out of the closing the deal. They paid me $5,800 to take over this property.
Wow. Was there delinquent mortgage on it or anything like this?
No, it so happened that the lady that inherited the property, she needed to move out of state. She had a
Hmm.
job in another state. I think it was in Georgia, and she needed to get rid of the property right away. If she went to sell it with a regular realtor, it would be maybe 60 days, 90 days, plus closing costs, 120 days. She needed to
This
take
is
that job
amazing.
ASAP. And so that's where in a way, I find out what was the problem. She had a problem. She needed to get rid of the property right away. I needed a house. I wasn't desperate. So I asked her, can you work with me? If you work with me, I'll work with you. I take over your problem. Just work with me. I need some funds. And instead of having to bring money to the closing, she gave me $5,800 back.
Unbelievable. For our listeners, our average listener is doing 50 plus deals per year, but we also have some listeners who are brand new. And for the brand new people, this sounds incredible. And almost like, how does this even happen? Louis, what year was this when this deal went down?
This deal went down in 1999.
99. So this was before the education that we have out there now. How did you educate yourself on this process?
Well, I didn't. Basically, it was nature. I mean, I find out that you have to buy. You don't actually buy. You're not buying an asset. you're helping people out. You have to find out if the seller has a problem. What is the problem that they have? If the problem, can you help them with their problem? If you'll be able to help them with their problem and at the same time benefit yourself, then it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win. I find out that the lady, I actually put 3 more offers for another 3 other houses, but they were not desperate to sell. They didn't have a problem. They could wait. They could wait out,
Yeah.
the market. This lady happened to be in a problem that she needed to get rid of her house. So she had a problem. And I was a hero to her. I was able to take over her problem. Her
How
problem
did you,
was, I'm sorry,
sorry for cutting you off. How did you come across her?
through a realtor.
Okay.
A realtor,
Okay.
a realtor. And the realtor, because when I speak to a realtor, find out what's the reason they're looking to sell. How
Yeah.
soon are they looking to sell? How flexible are they to sell? So, and the realtor told me she's very motivated. She's very motivated. She's open to suggestions. She's open. So I said, okay, this is good. This is check, check, check. Okay, perfect. So how about this? Are you able to finance it? They don't want to finance. They didn't want to be the bank to finance me the deal. Why? Because she needed the money to move to another place, to Georgia, I think it was. Remember, she inherited the property. So she was not attached to the property. She didn't work for the property. She didn't pay the mortgage. So there was nothing. If she makes 70 cents on the dollar, she'll be happy. I mean, there was no attachment to that. And that's where I capitalized on that.
This is a
She needed to
Hall of
get rid of that.
Fame deal. On the Hall of Fame deals that I've heard of, this is like up there. This is fantastic stuff.
It worked out. I mean, I didn't have nothing. I didn't have anything to lose. I made the offer, and
Yeah.
they take it fine. If not, then we could just go back and forth. And it happened to work out.
So from there, was that an aha moment? Like, wow, I just bought a property and got paid for it. There's something here. And did you repeat that process, rinse and repeat, or at that point in time, did you still kind of put that on the back burner while doing other things?
Actually, to be honest with you, Dylan, it worked out so well, but I didn't realize how fortunate I was or the opportunity that was there. And I didn't do anything for a lot of years. I just continued doing my work and working for the bank, living in that same house. Actually, I did house hacking in the property. I made it into a studio and rented another 4 bedrooms in the property. So it would pay for itself while I lived for free. So there was no incentive to find another property for me. So it was a great
Interesting.
opportunity, and I didn't do anything with that until further down the line.
So you're living in New Jersey at that point in time. It's 99, 98, 99. And then after your son is born, you move to Florida. That's when you started getting into fix and flipping. Is that right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So
Yes.
what year did you move down to Florida?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I moved down to Florida in 2005.
Okay, so 2005. So for our listeners, um, I can relate to this. You tend to get spurts of inspiration and motivation when it comes to uh, doing something outside of your job. And we have a lot of people who are probably listening who are saying, how can I get into the real estate space if I'm a teacher? Something unrelated. I'm a firefighter. I don't have any of these uh, skill sets. I'm not a realtor. I don't have a finance background. How do I get in? You just start with one. In this instance, 99, 98 to 2005, that's a half decade. And then once you got down there, it seems like things took off. Is that accurate once you got down to Florida?
No, actually, that's so accurate. That particular house that I mentioned in the past before, I found this person doing investors,
Hmm.
doing investment, investing property, investing money and getting a great return. And so my wife brought this person to the house, and he promised us a lot of returns. And we ended up giving him money. He will give us a return, a good return, and back and forth for about a year. And so we said, okay, this is going to be great. We could, if we give this gentleman money, he used to work for the bank, for a big bank in New York. I don't want to mention the bank. And so we were getting a very good return. We ended up selling the house that we had purchased at a great. We actually made a good 300% return on the money that we invested. But the money that the purchase price, not because we remember we didn't have to put any money down. So we made about 300% of the cost of the property. So we sold it and we invest and we cash out my 401k, I cash out everything, invested with this gentleman, and we lost everything because he lost everything from us. That's the
Oh.
reason we moved to Florida. And in Florida, the little money that we had left over, we bought a couple of properties in the area. In
Hmm.
2007 and 2008 came around and we lost everything again. So that took everything from us. And so that's when we decided to get the license for construction, and we started working roofing and plumbing and construction. And we ended up, getting back in our feet. And in 2013, that's when we purchased another property, creative financing again. We bought the property creatively, and that helped us buy another one, and then we started going up.
Wow. So two things I want to touch on here is number one, the agility in New Jersey going from finance to then finding that property to cashing out on it, having this huge return on it, but then really being humbled on an awful level, like losing everything. I don't think a lot of people would come back from that, but probably because of your background and your journey, you knew I got here to this point, I can do it again. Where some other people might not have that drive, that grit. Because I know some people who have been burnt on their first deal, and that was it for them. They're like, I'm not doing this again. This is too risky. But I also wanted the second part of this that I thought was something to touch on is you when you get down to Florida, both you and your wife get into real estate. How was that conversation with her? Was she on board? Was it like, hey, let's both go jump into this? Or was this like, hey, there's something here, let's try it out and see what happens?
Well, it was, I mean, let me go back a little bit. One of the reasons we were able to get back on our feet, I mean, try it again, is the fact that we live in this country, the United States of America, which is the best country in the world. I've been all over the world, a lot of countries. But out of all the countries, this is the best country. We are here already. I mean, just being here, you're rich. You made it in this
Amen.
country. How am I gonna say I'm not gonna start all over again since I'm here? This is fantastic. I mean, this is a land of opportunity. And so it was hard for us losing all the money to this gentleman, and then it was hard for the market to crash and we lose everything in the
Mm.
market. It was hard, but then the wife that I have is incredible. We decided, okay, we could either both of us go into real estate, but the market is tough, and so we might suffer. How about if we divide ourselves to do different things? And so we decided, okay, let's everything that's working here in Florida is construction. How about if we get the license as a general contractor or roofing contractor? who, which of us wants to go to school and the other one could support the family. And so we came to the conclusion, I'm good at school, at books. I go to school, get the license while she works and supports the family. And that's what we did. For a full year, she worked her tail off, supporting the family, and I studied my tail off to get the licenses. And that's what we did. So we became, made it into a team. I got the license. Once I got the license, I started working with the license. She didn't have to work, two full-time jobs. Now she was working only one full-time, and then it went down to part-time, and now she didn't have to work because now I'm the one providing for the family with the license that I got. And so that's how the transition into real estate.
What was she doing at the time? She was a realtor and she had one other job. What was she doing?
Yes, she was working for a bank as a business banker
Wow.
for
So
Colombia.
talk about having the right partner. Amazing.
Yes.
Um, you went really three. It sounds like two or three different fields. You went to finance, did real estate, then went to was it plumbing at that time in Florida?
The first license that I got was general contractor license,
General
then
contractor.
plumbing, and then roofing.
And did you just know, hey, I can do this, or was it like I'm gonna take a shot at it?
Actually, guys, in this country is whatever you say you mind to do. I mean, this country is the best country. I mean, there's no excuses. If you're willing to pay the price to do the work, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. I had ideas how to be a plumber because my stepdad was a plumber in New Jersey, in Englewood, New Jersey. So I learned from him. And when I came here, I realized that plumbing might not be the best, but construction is.
Yeah.
Construction is the best thing. Having the license as a contractor, it helps a lot. And that's what we did. We went to school for that, for the license. And just with the license, you don't actually have to build, but you can find some other people that they know how to build, but they don't have the skills to get the license. So you could work, you could get a job, unite forces. He brings the labor force and you bring the license and the insurances. You unite forces and then you make both of you are owners of this company that is giving profit for all of you. And so that's what we did.
Wow. So from there, I imagine you're a general contractor. You get the master plumber, and then during that time period, at some point in time, you start fix and flipping, right?
Correct. Correct. Yes.
And in that process, with the fix and flipping, because your wife is a realtor, you're fixing, flipping, and she's selling the properties.
Correct. Yes.
And at that point,
Yes.
it was after the crash, it was a good market in Florida, right?
It was uh, it was an okay market. I mean, if you had money
Okay.
to buy properties and have the foresight to see that the market would take off, you have
Yeah.
purchased a lot more properties. But we were buying, fixing, and making some money enough to live. We would
Yeah.
buy and make eight, 10, $15,000. That's what we needed for us to be able to live.
Right.
We didn't keep any of those properties.
Yeah,
Now,
everyone
now,
says this. And I know when I start doing this, I have to keep at least a couple because it's
yes,
interesting. The one regret of the real estate investors, almost all of them who get into the fix and flip space, I wished I kept a couple, because you don't realize, and maybe this will change. We're seeing for sure a change now in Texas, specifically, but it does seem like looking back that it's unlikely that they're going to go down in price, so keep a couple. But after this point in time, you do the fix and flipping for 8 years. Fast forward a little bit to today, where you're now involved in creative finance and the commercial space. Really, from what it sounds like, because the fix and flipping, the margins are getting smaller with everything the where it is. So, talk about the transition to the creative finance and the commercial space.
okay. The creative finance. Usually, when you buy a house, you have to have everything the bank's asking you for. You have to have a great credit. You have to have a good down payment. You have to have been employed for X amount of years. They ask you for everything. I mean, they find an excuse to say no to you. So if you play their game, then you are set by their rules. You have no control over anything. Like before, when I was working for Plain Web for the bank, I have no control over what if I wanted to help that client, I couldn't because I was forced to sell whatever the bank would tell me to sell. The same thing with if you're looking to buy a house. If you play like everybody else is playing with all the regulations the bank is telling you, then you're limited to the people that have more money. They'll be able to buy more of a house. People that have more credit, they'll be able to buy all this. Now, if you create your own game, like creative financing, what's creative financing? Let's give you an example. Somebody's selling a house, and they bought the house for let's say $400,000 and that was last year. Now they owe, let's say, 390. If you go sell the house the regular way, the cost of selling the house is going to be about 10%. It's going to be 6% for realtor costs, 2% for closing costs, and maybe you have to fix the house a little bit to be able to sell it. So on average in this country, to sell a house, you have to pay about 10%. So if you sell the house for $400,000, 10% is what, $40,000. Meaning
Yep.
that the time of closing, you have to have, you're only going to get $360,000 back. I remember you owe the bank what, 390?
Yep.
That means the time of closing, you have to come up with $30,000 to give to the bank. Instead of you getting money back, you actually have to pay the bank those $30,000.
Hmm.
All right. With credit financing, I'll take over your mortgage, meaning you have a mortgage of 390 right now, and you're paying an interest rate of 275. For me, it makes sense for me to take over your interest rate, your house, your interest rate, since I don't have to go apply for go to the bank, give a great down payment. I don't have to provide credit to the bank. I don't have to show that I've been working for this company for X amount of years. I just take over your headache, your problem. I take over your problem. I continue making the payment. Your credit would be safe, and then you could move out, move wherever you want to move, and you don't have to come up with the $30,000 to give to the bank. I'll take over your headache.
Now,
That's makes
I'm very interested in this because I'm going to be a realtor. For the realtors out there and the aspiring realtors, this process is you're assuming the loan, right?
correct. Correct.
You're assuming the loan. And I think I just went to a real estate school out here, Champion School in Fort Worth, and I will say that there was a lot of people afraid of this process as a realtor, and so how are you navigating that? And do you have any advice to realtors who are maybe interested in creative finance?
Okay, basically, the the first thing that I do, if there's a realtor involved, I'll talk to the realtor, let him know that they're gonna get paid regardless. But now it's not gonna be the seller paying them; it's gonna be me paying them. So I make sure that the realtor is gonna be compensated. Now, when I tell them, listen, how about this? If you know how the system works, then you'll be able to tell your client how much of a net benefit it is for the client to do the deal with me than in the regular market. To do the numbers, just to sit down and do the numbers. If they're still the regular way with a realtor, how much are they going to have in their pocket at the end of the closing? When they do the numbers and they realize that they're not going to get any money back, but instead they have to pay money to the bank compared to me, which they don't have to provide any money to the bank. They don't have to pay anything back. If anything, if I'm buying the house for 390, they sell it for 390. I won't fight the price. All I want is terms. I won't
Hmm.
ask you to sell it to me for 360 or for 370. I'll pay you 390. I just take over your mortgage. See, the closing, it will take, instead of taking 60 days for closing right now, it will take maybe 2 weeks. You
Yeah.
don't have to you don't have to bother by showing the property to all these people that are gonna go see that property. They're not interested to buy, they just want to take a look what's out there. We no longer have to go with all that. I make sure I'll buy it. I go to the house, I take a look. How can I improve the property? So it becomes a lot simpler working with me than working with in the market out there. So how can I help? By teaching the realtor the benefit, how beneficial it is for that seller to work with me than in the market itself.
Having that agility and also being able to educate people when they might not be aware of what's going on or might have maybe even a negative connotation in their minds. What is this? I've heard things I don't know. But you build and nurture that relationship, you educate them, and it is truly a win-win. Talking about win-wins, the commercial space, which I know you've been doing for the past couple of months. How did you get into that? And I know you mentioned they're buying large numbers of doors. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, when I used to buy a property to fix and flip, I will have to do the research in the market. I have to call people. I have to send LOIs. I mean, that I'm interested to buy the property. I'll have to do all this work to get the property. Once I purchase the property, then I will have to fix it. It will take me a month to 2 months to fix it, and then I have to put it in the market and find out that the market has gone down. There's not that many buyers, so the process will be a headache. I would make some profit, or at least so far I have made profit. But it's somewhat unpredictable when I finish fixing the property if I'm going to make that profit. So I will have to do all this process for every particular house, and by the time I sell it, I will have to start all over again the process to buy another property. So I decided to look into something that I'm able to do that the hard work right now at the beginning, and then I reap the rewards for years to come, not just 1 year, 2 years, but for years to come. And use the leverage, use a vehicle that will be allow me to use put in a lot of little money as I can, and I get a big reward. What will be that vehicle? Commercial, commercial multifamily. How does that work? Let's say I buy a 150 unit apartment complex. The complex doesn't have a pool, so I'm charging $1,500 in rent for every apartment. Now, when I buy the property and I make a pool, it might cost me $400,000. But now I'm able to bring the property rental maybe to $1,700. See, I'm increasing only $200. And $200 for 150 units, what is that? That's a pretty penny. Multiplied by 12 months. It brings the ROI so much higher. And what's the commercial real estate? They base it on what? The cap rate.
Yep.
And the cap rate is based in the return, the ROI, return on investment. So the return is a lot higher than what you have purchased it for. And you multiply it by 150 units. That means one pool that you build, one pool, you benefit 150 people. And benefiting 150 clients, you're benefiting yourself by 150 times. So before I used to buy a house, and I'll make, I'll spend $80,000 to build a pool, but I can only bring the rent up for that property, just one family. I can only bring
Yeah.
the rent up for one family. Now I'm making the same pool and
150.
benefiting 150. That's beautiful.
Man,
See?
we're coming up on time here, but I want to just give some bullet points to our listeners here. We're, as Lewis said, we're living in the greatest country with the greatest opportunity, and Lewis's story is incredible, but also highlights how you can come back from having to being humble to coming back multiple times, and also having the agility. The thing I got out of this is really just continual seek of knowledge and education, and being able to transition from schooling to finance to real estate to general contracting, plumbing, fixing and flipping, now creative finance in the commercial space. Just continuous seek of knowledge, and that hunger eventually lands you in a space where you're in the commercial space. So congratulations on all your success. And Lewis, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they could look at my name actually is Luis F. Chavarriaga.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be able to, probably, send me a message there, or, send something to my email. My email is DLG Florida, like the state spelled out, at yahoo.com. And I'll respond to any emails that you send me. If there's anything I could help you with, I'll be more than happy to provide any help.
Well, folks, that wraps up this episode of the Real Estate Pros podcast, brought to you by Investor Fuel. Lewis, thank you for being on. Until next time, thank you guys.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.